She has championed policies empowering Filipino entrepreneurs. Under her stewardship, the Department of Trade and Industry has intensified efforts to foster inclusive growth, support micro, small, and medium enterprises, and navigate the country's international trade amid global policy uncertainties. With us and thought leaders, please welcome Trade and Industry Secretary Cristina Roque. So good to see you, Secretary Chris. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, hi, Cathy. Thank you for having me, and I look forward to our discussion for today. It's my first time here, and I'm quite excited.
But really not the first time at the DTI. You're quite a veteran, if you will, starting as Assistant Secretary, taking care of the regions, and then Undersecretary, taking care of the MSME Development Group.
Yes,
Before you got your appointment.
Secretary.
For secretary, and it's nearing a year. If I'm not mistaken, that's August 3rd. That's a full year, and your appointment on November 2024. So that's like a lot has happened since.
Yes, actually, I was appointed as Secretary August 2, 2024. So I'm almost a year, and yes, a lot has happened, and it was quite a journey, I should say.
Well, what would you pick out of that 11 months? What stood out for you?
Actually, when they appointed me, it was something that was, I didn't expect it to come I didn't expect it. So when it was given to me, I took on the challenge. And within that week when I was appointed, it was budget hearing. So that was a challenge that I really had to hurdle. And we passed. So it was good, yeah. And we really did. My team is very good. I have excellent people here in the DTI. In fact, I really worked with most of them. I didn't really bring in much staff because I felt that everybody was really excellent, and we just had to get going as soon as possible.
And that's all of 3 years so far under the Marcos administration. You're way up. From Assistant Secretary to Undersecretary, and now the Secretary of Trade and Industry. What sort of lessons have you learned on the way up?
Yeah, actually, I was Assistant Secretary for a few months, and then Undersecretary also for a few months, and after that, Secretary. I've learned a lot of things. I've really learned that private sector is totally different from government, but I also realized that if we do a good job in government, we'll be able to move things. And government really has the potential to really get things going. But we just have to make sure that we are focused at what our direction is, and we are focused at what we want to achieve at the end and what our goal is. And we just have to also make sure that we follow strictly what our president wants. And of course, President BBM really set the direction for the Department of Trade and Industry.
He did, because I remember in the previous SONA, on the third SONA last year, he made it really clear that trade and investments are central pillars to his full economic strategy. The SONA is coming up on July 28th.
Yes,
what would you like for him to surface as the DTI's landmarks or milestones that you'd wish for him to be proud of?
Yeah, actually for DTI, when I felt that there was really just 3 main mandates for DTI to get the things, to simplify everything and to make sure that we get everything done. Number 1 is foreign trade and investment. So this one is, the president is really pushing this, and we are very friendly to the foreign investors, and we are really aggressive. We have an aggressive approach to really push the foreign trade and international investments. Why? Aside from the income that we generate from it, it's the jobs that are important for him. The jobs that it provides. Kasi bulk yung jobs na nabibigay nitong mga malalaking investors na to. So the president wants our people to stay here in the Philippines. He doesn't want them to be away from family. So this is why there's really a major push in foreign trade and investments, aside from, of course, the income that it generates. Number 2 is the consumer protection and the fair trade. We must protect our consumers from the goods that are being sold in the market. So we need to make sure that it passes through the DTI standards. It passes through the standards that are set by the DTI, and of course the rules that we need to follow. So we need to protect our consumers from the products that are being sold. And number 3 is the MSME development. MSME development is 99.6% of the business establishments now in the country, and it comprises 60% of the labor force. So this is a sector that we definitely cannot ignore. So this is another push that the president wants for, at least for us here in the DTI, to make sure that we get things done. And definitely we are trying to our best to really get things done.
Let me pick up on very friendly. When you said that we're very friendly to foreign investors.
Mhm.
But are we easy on them? Because a lot of the foreign investors I speak with say it's really the ease of doing business that sticks out. They'd want to be here, but
Yeah.
they can't have it any easier with all the processes and all the documentation, despite ARTA.
Yes, okay. Actually, for now, we do the whole government approach, meaning all of us cabinet secretaries work together to make sure that we get things done. For example, we have one investor in Japan who had a problem with his roads. So what we did in DTI, or what I personally handled this, I made sure that the roads was done by, I talked to Secretary Bonoan, and he made sure that the roads were done. So the investor was very happy and the roads are done. So he has more investments now. So he knows that they are protected here. They are well taken care of because we know the amount of money that they invest. So we don't want them to pull out and to transfer to another country, because then that would mean our people will lose their jobs. And definitely the president doesn't want this to happen. So we have a whole government approach. Like, I also had the ITBPO, and their problem was with the LGUs. So let's say we met today. 2 days later, me and John Vic Remulla sat with the ITBPO association, and all their LGU problems were addressed by Secretary Remulla. So again, this is exactly what we do, DOT, RBI, RBOC. This is what we do here for them. So tinututukan namin po sila. So lahat ng mga foreign investors, especially now that there's Create More, which was actually signed by the president last year, October, and the IRR was signed like a few months ago. So this is just the time when we are really getting things going. Because in the past, our incentive program was a bit not too friendly as compared to our counterparts. But now, with Create More, we are so ready to go. So whenever we go abroad, it's really very easy for us to really convince them now to really set up in the Philippines.
But do they have to call you up to get the job done? I mean, one would
I don't
presume
mind.
that,
To be honest, I don't mind.
It would have been better if it was just, okay, this is the process, and I just got to follow 1, 2, 3, and then get the
Yes.
job done, get my permits.
Of course, in general, that's really what happens. But of course, just like any other business, there are some glitches talaga. It's something that we cannot avoid also. So there are some na they need the help from me personally, then that's okay. That's not a problem, as that is my job. And I really need to make sure that I get the job done quickly.
Right. It's also a whole of government approach when it comes to trade,
Yes,
especially
yeah.
trade right now with the global policy uncertainty. You have expressed concern over the
Yes,
20% tariff slapped on the Philippines, 3% higher than the original Liberation Day tariffs.
Yes, yeah.
What do you think happened wrong there? I mean, there were constant talks, and you did make a mention that the constant engagements from Manila were forthcoming.
The 20% were still lower than our, of course, our neighboring countries. But of course, it's not something that we expected. But we are still in the negotiating table. We are actually leaving next week, so it's still not over. So it's hard for us to speculate at this time. It's also hard for us to give our we cannot give any information yet, because there's really nothing yet until we get to talk to our counterparts next week. And then once we get feedback, definitely we will let the Filipino people know.
And you're working with a team. That's most important. You've got Decgo.
Yes, I have,
And
of course, Frederic Go.
And Babes
yeah,
Romualdez.
Yes, yeah, Babes Romualdez, yeah.
What's the dynamic like amongst you three? I mean, you've been at it for 3 months, and then
yes,
those
yeah.
constant engagements.
Yes,
How's that
yeah.
dynamic now going to change? Now that you're going to have to fight for lower or zero tariffs when you go
Yeah.
to the US next
Yeah,
week?
actually, we have a very good team. That's something that's of course what we can be proud of, and our team is really fighting for, of course, all our exporters, and we really hope to get the job done. So we just have to see what happens next week.
Now, Secretary of State Marco Rubio did confirm that
Mm.
PBBM will be visiting Washington, D.C. in the
Yes,
next few
yes,
days.
yeah.
Is he the lead negotiator then for the trade team?
No. I still don't have word regarding that, but for now, it's no. It's just us. It's
What,
the three of us.
what difference would it make then? I mean, having the president there and you're also there, and it's a very timely period as we're approaching the August 1st deadline that Trump had set.
Yeah, of course, having the president, there's always a positive. It's always something positive and something that we can really look forward to. But then again, we still have to wait until next week and see how everything will unfold.
Are you still gunning for zero tariffs? Because that's exactly what you went for before you even flew.
Yeah, it's hard for
Decmo.
us to discuss, or hard for me to discuss now.
Well, what we do know is that the Philippines is an active participant when it comes to free trade agreements. We've been
Yes,
so
yeah.
active even before all the
Yes, yeah.
tariff uncertainty came through. We've had the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership.
Yes, yeah.
That got signed in June 2023.
Yes, yeah.
We're one of 14
Yes,
members
yeah.
of the Asia Pacific nations. It's the world's largest free trade area. So that's got to mean something right now.
Yes.
Importers and exporters benefiting from RCEP.
Yes.
But what is it really, and what impact is it having on us 2 years on?
Yes, the free trade agreement is really very important. The president actually is really for free trade agreement because that will really strengthen the trade between two countries or three countries, or that's something that we really need to push because once we have good trade relations or we have a free trade agreement, then it's easier for us to be able to sell our goods to that particular country. Let's say we just signed last year the Philippine and Korea FTA, which really benefited the agriculture industry, especially the banana. So then now their trade has been stronger now than before. So that's something that we're really pushing. We're also pushing now for the EU FTA, and then we also have actually anytime we're going to be signing the CEPA with UAE, then there's also the Chile CEPA which we are starting, and then there's also the CPTPP, and then there's also the JPEPA. There's our president is really pro free trade. So free trade agreement, because this will really strengthen the trade between both countries, and we really need to get our goods also out there, and we really need to get also lower tariffs also as we really export our products. So
Is the president still pushing for an FTA with the U.S.?
that's something that we will determine next week.
Is there a possibility that discussions might happen?
Everything, of course, is on the table. Any FTA is always good for the country, especially because it will really encourage and it will really strengthen the trade between, of course, the U.S. and the Philippines. So free trade is something that we also want.
What's the conviction, though, of fighting for free trade when we're seeing a deglobalization, a delinking of whatever's happened over the past decades that have just put us together in a globalized setup?
Yeah, but for our president and really for our country, I think free trade agreement is quite good, especially for us to export.
To export, but to import.
Yes, also to import, yeah.
Which brings us to one of the pillars, the MSMEs. Just listening to the World Bank's Philippine Economic Briefing just gave rise and importance to the linkages that we must create in building an ecosystem.
Yes, yeah.
As you mentioned, the statistics are great. 99.6% of the business sector MSMEs. But what difference do they make when we talk about the regional and the global impact that MSMEs have that would mean more income and maybe even more jobs here in the Philippines?
Yes, actually, the MSMEs are quite important, and we really need to push them because it's a big business sector that if we don't push them, then they will really affect the entire economy. So for us, export for them is a little bit challenging, but for the medium enterprises, of course, it's easier. But for the micro and for the small, it's challenging. So we need to really get them going here in the country. local trade is really important for them. And we have the numbers, like we have the population. We have 115 million Filipinos, so that's really the market. Actually, that 115 million Filipinos is also what attracts different countries to us. The huge potential, the huge, let's say, sales and trade potential. So for MSMEs, we have a lot of programs that DTI has for them. We really need to really grow them, and we really need to make sure that we get things done. So we have 5-point strategy for them. Number one is the digitalization. They must go digital. First, it's the cheapest way to get, of course, to get them to sell the goods, to get information across, and to make sure, and it's very cheap. Number two is diversification. They must diversify. They cannot be stuck selling a single or have one single income, or they must have a second source. So let's say they're selling this item, they need to sell other items, so that if that item falters, then they still have another second, third source. So they must, of course, we need to really encourage them to go franchising, because sometimes the business or their business already sunset industry. So at least if they franchise, the success rates are very high. We give them the top 20 franchises, so they just choose from there. And then next is financing. SB Corp is under the DTI, so I'm the chairman of SB Corp. So I totally changed also the rules to make sure that it really fits the needs of the MSMEs. So the rules are now no more collateral, because definitely MSMEs, they don't have collateral. And then 1 year no payment of principal and interest. So they have 1 year to drive the business to get it going. And then we have 10 billion worth of funding for them. So all they need is just the government ID. And it's a very simple, and they must just be registered with the local government. So they must be compliant, but they don't need any more financial statements and all of that. So it's so much easier now. And then the processing takes a few days or like a week. So after financing, we also have the mentoring. So we're very strong in mentoring. So whoever can mentor them, definitely we're open to that. We work well with Go Negosyo also. We work well with BDO also on mentoring. We work well with so many other companies that do mentoring. So we encourage them to learn from the experts, so that at least they know which direction to take. So yun. Those are the things that we do for the MSMEs. Then, of course, our trade shows. We are very aggressive on the trade shows. We have already increased our sales by 49%, and also the attendees who attend, and there's more people joining. So the numbers are very good, phenomenal, if I may say, even for the people of, let's say, where we do the trade shows, let's say SM, Ayala, they say that the sales are phenomenal and the attendees are phenomenal. So that's something that we do for them. So we keep on really finding ways to strengthen. Then the DTI now goes to the region. So instead of them coming to us, we go to them and really tell them, okay, these are the programs of the Department of Trade. And then for the consumer protection, we also go to the supermarkets, the palengke, to really check that, to make sure that kahit papano, all the prices of basic necessities and prime commodities follow strictly the prices given by the DTI. And I am proud to say that in almost a year, we had no price increase for basic necessities and prime commodities, which is actually a feat, because what we do with the manufacturing, which is also the instruction of our president, BBM, is to find other opportunities for these big players so that they keep their prices, but we find opportunities for them through export. So madami talagang pwedeng i-offer sa mga businesses. So that's something that we're really pushing. Actually, there's still so much.
You have a women enterprise fund, and I wanted to place that, where would that be, as you do have Tatak Pinoy strategy,
Okay,
and that's something in the works. How does that roll up to what you just talked about, supporting MSMEs and the fact that 65%
Our women.
Are women.
Yes,
They're
yeah.
women-owned and women-led.
Yes, yeah. That's actually I just knew that number when I got here in the DTI. So I decided that we need to set aside fund for the women-led business or women-owned business. So 2 days ago we launched the Women Enterprise Fund. That's for women-led or women-owned. So we set aside 1 billion for them. In fact, when we launched it like a week ago, 4.6 million was already loaned out. So we launched it 2 days ago. So we're really hoping that more people would loan. The reason for this also is because I realized that in the Philippines, there's still a lot of families that's single income, meaning the father is the only one that earns money. So if anything happens to the father, then apektado na buong pamilya. So we need to get a second source of income. We need to have a family that has double income. Kasi pag double income yung family, number one, it also empowers the women. The women become more confident. The women feel that, okay, I can also work pala. I can also generate income, or I'm also useful pala. So now they can work from home, or they can start a small business, and then who knows, grow from there. So that's the double income. Importante yon. Once double income na, then the family is uplifted now. Now the schools can get better education. They can now have more family vacations. And daming pwedeng gawin. So if anything happens to the father, there's still a second source. So this is precisely one of the reasons for the Women Enterprise Fund.
And as you said, it's a market of 115 million dito pa lang sa
Yes,
Pilipinas.
dito pa lang sa Pilipinas.
But when you come to think of it, the whole ASEAN, pwede ring maging market yun.
Yes,
As long as we
exactly,
do
yeah.
have the regional value chain in place.
Yes, correct.
What is now
yeah.
being done at the DTI to encourage and also enable that linkage to the regional value chain that goes out to the global value chain, which has a bigger multiplier effect?
Yes,
That
okay,
redounds
yeah.
to more jobs and more incomes.
Yes, actually now when we go abroad, let's say we do we do trade missions abroad, or we talk to big businesses abroad, we don't only do big or large or extra large companies. I do now also SMEs. So I talk to the SMEs, or I talk to the companies that now know the quantity or know the capabilities of our SMEs, and they actually buy from them. Let's say in Japan, Don Quixote is already open to products of the SME. So that's something that we're pushing now. And then last year, we have Lulu Supermarket and Lulu Department Store that really buys from SMEs. That's the UAE chain, the Middle East. That's very strong in SMEs now. So I got to talk to the owners, and then we were able to really at least tell them about the plight of the SMEs, and maybe out of social enterprise also, or something to at least help them, as long as they comply also to the rules of the company, then they're so ready to export.
So
Which they do. We have
Mhm.
3,000 products now that are out now in the Middle East.
What sort of products? What
There's
interests?
food, mostly food.
Uh-huh,
Yeah, mostly
okay.
food, yeah. But there's also non-food, but madaming food.
So the opportunity is in food. But if you were to
Yes, yeah.
diversify and encourage our MSMEs to go farther and further,
Yes,
which
yeah.
products and services?
Very strong talaga is the coconut. Coconut, dried mangoes, some of our, let's say, handicrafts, but most are really in the agriculture and the food.
And if and when that happens, let's say on a massive scale, you get to scale up the MSMEs.
Yes, yeah.
What will it mean for jobs here? What will it mean for the economy?
Of course, once they get the orders, or once they really grow, then of course their company grows. That would mean more jobs for the Filipinos. So that's something that we're really pushing. We push for international trade, so we might as well push for MSMEs also. We're already there. In other words, when we go abroad, we're already there. So why do we have to skip a sector, right? Why don't we just do all of them? So this is exactly what we do here.
But with all the tariffs, it's quite a space that you have to navigate.
That's only for the U.S., but there's the
Only the
world is a
US.
big market, so we must be strategic also in our moves. We know that this is the challenge now of the U.S., so we need to find other markets other than the U.S. So for DTI, we have 29 DTI offices worldwide, and we have 21 trade attachés who can definitely open the doors for them. All we need to do is to just set the meeting, which we are doing for for a lot of businesses, and even now for the movie industry, we also do that. Yeah.
Talk to us about the movie industry because that's really interesting.
Yes, yeah.
Entertainment has really built, and what we've seen is a success story in Korea.
Yes.
How much
yeah.
of an opportunity do we have there, and what do we need to do to attract the full
Okay,
ecosystem? Is it just through incentives, or is it
Yeah.
funding plus incentives?
Actually, first and foremost, it's really the opportunity, and we really need to get out there so that we'll know what the opportunities are out there. Last year, I think, or in this, since the Marcos administration started, we had a 1.94 trillion pesos contribution from the creative industry. Actually, that's where we need to push, because the creative industry is where we are also known. We are known in fashion. We have stars out there, Michael Cinco. We also have Monique Lulier and so many others. And then our singers are very good. Our actors are already known out there. Our artists, painters are already known out there. So actually, the creative industry, to be honest, is a driver for trade and tourism. So we need to really get it out there. And the potential is really, really wide. No? I mean, the movie industry is also, we have so many Filipinos already worldwide. So just targeting the Filipinos already enough. But the Filipinos have already intermarried to the different nationalities. So that's also like targeting the different nationalities. So we really have a push in the creative industry. Last month, we started the Malikain Pinoy fashion out there. So we had Paul Cabral, but we need to show our aces. To be honest, we really need to show the best of the best. So that the perception also and the way they look at us is parang sobrang galing ba? So we need to put our aces out there.
Encourage them to come over.
Yes,
and then
correct.
consider investing. So it's a full multiplier effect.
Yes,
so what do we need to do
yeah.
to bring them here?
Yeah, all we need to do is first to show them what we have, because it's hard to convince if we just talk. So we really need to show them. Yeah, we need, aside from the, of course, incentives that we tell them, but we need to show also what we have here. So when we did let's say for the fashion, when we did that fashion, the people that attended were, of course, the Princess of Tokyo, and then the wife of the Prime Minister. So, and so many of the top, if not the top, businessmen in Tokyo. So that actually shows something for the respect of the Philippines and the respect of the creative industry of the Philippines. So that one we're really pushing, and we're really making sure that we get it done.
Policy-wise, what do we need to hasten this opportunity and make sure it's got a big impact on GDP?
Yes, policy-wise, the policies are in place. But of course, as we go along, then we'll need what still needs to be done. But for now, everything is okay. So everything is good to go.
So is that a priority sector for the DTI?
Yes, it is a priority sector for the DTI.
And what else apart from that?
There's so many, actually. Number one is also to get the products out there. Number two is also to make sure that we don't have any price increase as long as we can, to make sure that we also protect the marginalized consumers. We also need to know what are the needs of these consumers. So we try to really balance everything. So that's one. And of course, continue to really push for foreign trade and international investment. So this is exactly why we travel, we go abroad, and we really open the doors for the foreign trade and investors that want to come in.
Foreign direct investments in April had an uptick. So that's a little bit encouraging. But when you take a look at the full tally for the full year, it's still significantly lower than last year. Why do you think that is?
Maybe because Create More, we just actually launched the signing of the IRR, which just signed a few months ago. And we're still really pushing it. The year's not yet over, so we still have a lot of investors that want to come in. So let's see what happens.
What do you need to do to make that happen? What are you seeing as the push that it needs? Is it more awareness? Is it maybe the implementing guidelines?
Actually, we just need to really, of course, inform them what we have here. And we have to make sure that, of course, all their papers are done quickly. We just have to make sure the ease of doing business. We have to make sure that they're really well taken care of.
Prices, let's take that up, because you said it's a feat. We didn't see any price increase on a year that we've seen inflation at, say, 59-month lows. So presumably there's really no inflation to talk about.
Yes, yeah.
Could that have been a contributory effect of why prices are staying where they are? Or is it the lack of demand that we still have to see from our household consumers?
Not really. We really stick to the no price increase. That's something that we want to give, the government wants to give to our consumers. At least they have a choice. May mababang presyo talaga. If you
But may
notice,
pressure. Are you feeling any pressure from any of the industry groups to raise prices?
Of course, normal naman yun that they always come here. In fact, they came here 2 weeks ago.
Which ones?
The sardines
Yes.
manufacturers, and they were hoping to get a 3 pesos price increase. But of course, after talking to them, of course, I talked to them and then I really explained everything to them. And then they left not increasing the price, and they were happy not to increase the price. In fact, Century, Pacific, even lowered down the price by 1 peso. So they also feel the need of the consumers, and they also want to support the project of the president to really lower down the prices for the consumers. You can see the rice is also down. So we really try to monitor and enforce this as effectively as we can and as best as we can.
It was quite a pleasant surprise just to see the Canned Sardines Association of the Philippines wanting to increase
Yes.
canned sardines by 3 pesos.
Yes.
And then the next day,
Yeah.
they held back.
Yes, they held
What
back.
happened behind closed doors in your office for you to convince them
Mm.
to just keep prices where they are?
Yes, I also let them realize the plight of the consumers. I also let them know what our president is requesting from them and the support that we need from them. And I also told them that definitely the DTI will be here to support all their endeavors, all the business, whatever they want from us for export or for movement of their products, we will definitely help them. And they know naman that we have word of honor. So they assured that definitely there will be no price increase. So we're very happy with this. And Century Pacific was kind enough to even lower down their price by 1 peso.
Hindi kayo nag-away.
No,
Wala
no,
nga
definitely
naging
no.
mainit ang
I have a
discussion.
good relationship with a lot of the manufacturers. In fact, I meet with them even after office hours or even on weekends to really at least talk to them and really tell them that we really need to get this prices steady.
All this motivation and the way you're approaching your portfolio as trade chief, I'm picking up as you're an entrepreneur at heart. But talk to us about that engineer by profession. You
Yes.
are a chemical engineer.
And I graduated management engineering, minor in chemical engineering
Got that.
from De La Salle.
And
Actually, I just felt that maybe if I pushed myself a little bit more, then that's why I chose the engineering course, because I wanted to push myself to the limits. Hanggang kaya, kakayanin. So that's also the leadership style here. I try to talk to everyone in a very kind way and a very diplomatic way. We don't fight. We just let everybody realize the needs of everyone. So even for me, when I was going to school, I wanted to push myself to the limits and see how far I could go. And see that maybe if I did my best, then something could come out of it. I always tell them that maybe if we just tried to achieve excellence, then something will come out of this. And then I always say that we only have one life to live. Galingan na lang natin, already here. So let's just give it our best.
yun nga, everything all at once. Ito yung parang nakikita ko, so you're an entrepreneur at heart and you are manifesting public service in this department. And you're traveling to the States next week.
Yes, yeah.
All the best on that.
Thank
and
you.
you've got 4 kids who are going to cheer and say, Mommy, just go for it. Do your best. I mean, how do you get things done at the pace at which you're going? You've already had, a short way up to the department portfolio. And the biggest challenge is up ahead.
Yeah. Actually, I just follow the direction that the president gives us. That's really my guiding force. No? The president says, okay, this is what I want done. So it's easier to maneuver when the leader tells you this is what we need to get done. So I just follow. I'm a good soldier, and I really work at the pleasure of the president. So whatever he tells me to do, okay, let's go for it, and I'll do it as best as we can.
Do the kids know what you're up to?
No,
What
I
you do
don't.
for the country?
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't tell them what I do. But I always tell them that maybe it's always an honor and a privilege to serve our country. So I'll give our country my best.
Sabi mo nga at the start of the chat, iba naman yung mundo rito, ano? You crossed
Yes,
over
yeah.
from private to the public.
Yes, yeah.
What is it that makes it different, and how did you manage to just pull them all together and make it work for you?
Iba talaga the work. It's totally different, especially the work hours. It's I mean, I have so much respect for government officials. They especially I mean, I could speak for DTI, excellent employees, excellent officials. So I can't ask for more. So they made my transition and my work very much easier. And we just follow the direction and get things done, and really just set the priorities, which is, as I told you, international trade and foreign investment, aggressive on that. Consumer protection and fair trade, make sure that we get the prices low, and we enforce and monitor, and we also catch the people that don't follow the rules. And number 3, the MSME development, grow them. Make sure that they grow. 5%, 10% is better than none. So find avenues for them to showcase their products, because we can't just talk, we need to move also.
Before you go, your advice to the young people out there who probably are thinking, I might want to do what she's doing right now.
Yeah, first, my advice is, if you have a dream, go for it. I mean, we'll never know what to expect. It's like me. I never thought I was gonna be in government. I never thought I was gonna be in clothing. I never thought I was gonna move forward from there. I mean, I just wanted to do and to give my best. That's all. So again, they can always rely on the Department of Trade and Industry for every need that they want, especially when it comes to income and trade. The DTI is here for them, and the DTI has a lot of programs for them, so they must take advantage of it. They can go to report to SEC at dti.gov.ph for anything that they need. They have complaints, they want to know more about business, they want to know about financing, they want to learn more about DTI, definitely just go to report to SEC at dti.gov.ph or go to 1-384. So again, the Department of Trade and Industry is here definitely for you every day, all days of the week, and we're really here to really push them and help them as best as we can.
You've got a full plate, and I wish you well in the trip.
Thank you so much.
All the best.
Thank you,
Thank you.
thank you, Cathy. Thank you.
Stream all episodes of Thought Leaders with Cathy Yang on Spotify and on One News PH YouTube channel. If you haven't done so, like or follow my social media pages. I'm Cathy Yang. This is Thought Leaders.